I welcome Toastmaster Deepa to. I think we already know the objective. He's going to give us the icebreaker speech. So, TM Deepa, do you want to add something to it, or should I just call him directly?
Yeah, our speaker's attempting his very first speech in Toastmasters, and it's all about introducing himself to us and about us letting him know what his strengths are already as a speaker. Over to the Toastmaster with him.
Thank you. Okay, let's all welcome Toastmaster Sriram with a big round of applause. Over to you, Toastmaster Sriram.
Thank you, Deepti. Am I audible to you guys now? Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. So, good morning to fellow Toastmasters, alchemists, and miracle mentors. The reason I have called the Toastmasters as alchemists and miracle mentors, there is a reason behind it. I called you as alchemists because alchemists are the ones who does the researches and executes the magical process of transformation. That's what each and every Toastmasters are doing right now. And I called the miracle mentors as such because the evaluators, timers, accountants, and grammarian are going to reveal our strengths and the areas of improvements, which is going to give an impact to other Toastmasters, and they can consciously use the good usages and avoid the negative circumstances in their upcoming days, not only in their speeches, in their day-to-day lives also. Okay. Now let's come back to my icebreaker speech. I'm Sriram, and I come from an agricultural background. My grandma used to say I was born on 6th August, exactly 6 minutes before the sunrise in Dindigul. And my grandpa is an astrologer as of now, and my grandpa's lifestyle is a little bit different. Even he started as an agriculturalist. At the age of 30 or 32, he changed his profession and he moved to astrology. So if you ever think that you want to pursue something new or you want to try out new things, age doesn't matter. By the age of 50, he became a speaker and he had given lots of speeches to people in and around Tamil Nadu. That was a quite different thing which I observed in my family. When I was born, everyone was happy because that was a time period where when a male child is born, the relatives, family members will be happy. That was a time period. Now the things are getting changed. But there was one guy who sat in corner of hospital and he said, "What I expected and what had happened is completely different. I don't want to see him. Just throw away this kid." Like that, he said, and he went away. That was my father. After 2 days, he came back and said, "My family members doesn't care about those things because end of the day, they already know about my father and his character." After 2 days, he came back and said, "End of the day, this person is my bloodline and it's my duty to take care of him." And from that day, he started showering me with his love and affection. Can you imagine? From the day I started going to school, he'll drop me at school at 8:30 in the morning and he'll pick me up at 4:30 in the evening. He had literally done it for 8 years for me and 10 years for my sister without taking a break. That was his love and care he had shown towards us. And my mom is a housewife, and she's very eager to learn about histories, and she is a good storyteller also. So because of her, I'm always good at histories, but I can't remember the dates, but I can remember the stories very well in the history books and the geographies, landmarks. But during the history classes or geography classes, I'll stumble in numbers. People say, or the teachers used to say, you can narrate these things, but you always miss out the specific dates, numbers, and my marks will go down in it. So that's how I started growing up. And if I look at it, I did my basic schoolings in my native itself, Pottanjatram, and I moved to engineering in Sastra University, Tanjavur. So the place also has a similarity. My hometown is a place where at least 3-4 years back from my hometown, 20 to 25% of the South India is supplied with vegetables. So the vegetables are produced in my hometown, and it's applied to 20 to 25% of South India. That's what my hometown is famous for. And the place I went to study is Tanjavur. That's the rice paddy. The rice cultivations is very abundant in Tanjavur circle. That's where I did my engineering. And when I was doing my engineering, I was so fond of this management. The course curriculum which they used to set up, the examination schedules, how they manage people, the strengths which they used to manage. That was quite impressive. That had given me an impression to get into management, which I was able to do after 2 years of my engineering. And I did my MBA in IIPM Chennai. That's the place where I got my first job. When I got my first job, I got into some areas which I don't know what to do. So that's how I got into HR business, specifically in recruitment. Then I moved to a second job in Chennai itself, Saskin. And during my second job, one fine day, my boss called me and he said, I have to relocate from Chennai to Bangalore. In 2 days, I relocated from Chennai to Bangalore. And the first thing I did after relocating to Bangalore is visiting Kolar. The reason I visited Kolar was because of the gold mines and the stories which I heard and studied during my school days. I don't know anything about Kolar. I came to Bangalore. I just settled down, refreshed myself. I told my friend, let's visit Kolar. Even he doesn't know how to go to Kolar or what are the things which are in Kolar. But we just simply went there. We just roamed around. We thought at least somewhere we will get to see the gold mines. There's gold dust somewhere here and but all we saw was lakes and the temple, and we just came back. That's a point of time I had a thought of I just thought myself that I should buy a bike. I should start riding to new places. So then after 1 year, I got my bike. Then at least every Saturdays or Sundays, I started exploring the places in and around Bangalore. Without any specific reason, I'll just look at some places in Google Maps. I will start riding, and where the places I choose, wherever I am going to visit, I'll make sure a temple will be in that place, even if it's a short ride or a long ride. The reason I'll choose temple is one is I'll get free food, Annaprasada over there. Second thing is the food they make will be so much authentic. They'll get all those food grains or ingredients from the local farmers. So you'll get to experience the actual culture as well as the food, the real authentic food taste of each and every places. And that's how my life is going on as of now. How I joined Toastmaster is something interesting. One fine day, I was casually watching this YouTube videos. At the time, you might have heard of this South African speaker, Douglas Kruger. I was just seeing some speech videos. Suddenly he said, if you want to become a life changer or a speaker who wants to have an actual impact in the world, the best place to kickstart is Toastmasters. So that's how I happened to see this video in a midnight, I think 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in night. It was a sleepless night, but it was a good video. And then I joined a Toastmasters in my previous company, Bosch. At a later point of time, I met Ananta in a common Toastmasters meeting. That's how I came to know about LASC and I joined LASC. I joined Toastmasters roughly 1.5 years back, but I'm giving my icebreaker speech today. Literally, if I look at my life cycle, I'll be traveling in most of Saturdays and Sundays. Even today's speech was planned in such a way that I might be traveling back to Bangalore. I'll be starting from my home at say 5 or 5:30 in the morning. I'll be giving an icebreaker speech somewhere in mid of the road. But luckily, I got to know my cousins were traveling in car yesterday late evening. So I just joined them and I came back to Bangalore. I got a little bit of time to settle down and I gave my first icebreaker speech today. Thank you. Thank you so much, team.
Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmasters Day, Toastmaster Deepti. Good morning, everybody. Palm Meadows, LISC, and especially my target speaker, Toastmaster Sriram. You know, I would like to congratulate you, Sriram, for breaking that one and a half years jinx that where you didn't give your first speech. And let's give him a big round of applause for breaking that jinx and making his debut as a speaker. And I really want you to continue. Once you started, just continue the momentum, and maybe if not LISC club, give it at another club. Keep giving a speech, at least one per month. That way you will really exponentially grow as a speaker. And now, how many of you in the room now, after listening to his icebreaker speech, will be able to introduce Toastmaster Sriram when you have to meet another person? Hey, this is Sriram. He's that, right? So your objective of the speech, icebreaker speech, is completely met. Congratulations on that. Toastmaster Sriram, I know, I can know you from Dindigul, you did your MBA, you're an eccentric biker, adventurer, and all of that. And I love the way you brought out all these stories, how you packed so much information in 4 to 6 minutes. It sometimes gets unbelievable for me. I was wondering if you met the time, but you just packed in so much information. I want to highlight some of your strengths as a speaker, where you stand right now, according to me. I feel you're very good at wordplay. You have a gift for words and playing with words. For example, the very beginning, the way you said alchemist, miracle mentors and all that. And then you said, I was born 6 minutes before 6 a.m. On 6th something. All of that indicate that you love playing with words, and that's one of your strengths. Hold on to that, capture that more often in your speeches. I like the way you brought in humor in your speech. Every now and then, if you looked at the audience in the virtual room, in the gallery view, you could see wide, toothy smiles, especially mine was all toothy and grinning. So you were very successful at humor. That could also be something you could explore further. And you're very good at describing things. For example, the way you said your father was the one who was with a sulk face when you were born in the corner of the hospital. I could see some person right there in the hospital. So bringing out that visual element, that's again your strength. When you described Tanjavur and the paddy fields, again, I could see the paddy fields and I could see the vegetables growing in so many gardens. That's, again, a big strength of yours. Structure. You spoke about where you were born, then you spoke about your dad, that's another para. Then you spoke about your mom, then you spoke about your education, your career, then your current lifestyle a little bit, and then why you joined Toastmasters. Good job on the structure as well. So very clear delineation of ideas. Some of the things, now this is your first speech, I wouldn't go much on challenge areas and all of that, but one of the things that I would like you to challenge for your immediate next speech is, if you could stand up for your speech. I'm not standing up. Forgive me for that. I'm not setting a good example, but anytime you give a prepared speech, stand up in front of the camera, set up the camera, allow yourself to move and walk around, allow your hands to be free so that you can express much better, in a much better fashion. And one of the other things I noticed was there was a tad bit of nervousness expected because it was an icebreaker speech. So maybe just concentrate on, rather than thinking that everybody's watching you, just concentrate on what you want to tell them. That way, a lot of nervousness dissipates. And also when you walk around the stage, when you have room to walk, again, that allows the nervousness to dissipate and it doesn't become obvious. Everybody is nervous as we speak. It's only that it's not obvious to people. Now, this another element that you can focus on is just eye contact. It's quite tricky in an online environment. You have to look at the camera once in a while. You look at the gallery view again, quite often just come back to the camera pinhole. That way you will you'll make them feel as though you're speaking to each one of them. And that will really capture their attention. That said, good luck for your next speech and keep them, book a slot. Who's the VP Education of LISC? Please book a slot for Toastmaster Sriram in 2 weeks, and that will get him preparing well. Good luck again and best wishes. Thank you.